We knew it was coming, people. We knew it was coming, and it has arrived. It is time for the Fortnite Secret Lair crossover for Magic the Gathering. The first of many crossovers. Magic the Gathering Fortnite crossover Secret Lair cards are finally revealed. IGN received an unexpected supply drop today from Wizards of the Coast in the form of 2 upcoming Magic the Gathering Secret Lair drops, both which feature Fortnite crossover cards. It was previously announced long ago. We knew this was coming a long time ago. People were squeamish about it. What it's going to be like? Are they going to actually inject new Fortnite cards into the game? But actually, they're going the Godzilla route, all right? They're going the Godzilla route, the route that is not going to peeve everybody off. Or not, like, you know, still peeve some people off, but it won't be, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Can we get a close-up? Can we get in closer? Apparently not. How do I look at this closer? This is not, there we go, this is close enough. We got Shrinking Storm. I don't know anything about Fortnite, so I don't know anything about shrinking storms in that game, but this is Wrath of God. So white, 2 generic, destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Watch the skies. So what is this in Fortnite? Does anyone play Fortnite? I don't know anything about Fortnite except it's like the most goofiest first-person shooter I ever heard of. When I think MTG, I think Fortnite and shoot 'em up games. Well, we're gonna start turning basically Magic the Gathering into a first-person shooter. So we've got our Shrinking Storm, which is a Wrath of God. Next, Crack the Vault, which is Grim Tutor, black, 1 generic. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. You lose 3 life. That seems like a bad tutor. In black, 1 generic. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. You lose 3 life. That's like, oh, way worse. So what is Demonic Tutor? Search your library for a card, put it into your hand. It costs less mana, you take less damage. Yeah, it's banned in all the formats, but it's legal in Commander, the format that you're actually trying to sell these cards to. I don't know, this seems like quite a fail of a card, but maybe maybe Demonic Tutor is not flavorful for, well, it doesn't need to be flavorful, you just make your own card. I mean, that's the whole point of these crossovers, you switch up the flavor. Yeah, it's like, it's between Demonic and Diabolic Tutor. Diabolic Tutor is too bad, but Demonic Tutor is too good. The Cube! 6 generic, Planar Bridge, so it's actually Planar Bridge. 8 generic, tap, search your library for a permanent card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. What the hell is the Cube in Fortnite? It's a grim, these are all reprints, they're all reprints. They did not make any mechanically unique cards, yet. So if there's one thing they listened from the community, they heard loud and clear, just make them Godzilla cards. Because that was the original like crossover where they're making, you know, they had Godzilla and all the Godzilla friends and enemies, but they put them on just normal cards. Like, hold on, for example, we have the Locust God here. Wasn't that a... Well, maybe this wasn't a Godzilla reprint. There was like a Moth card. I don't remember the Moth card. Like, let's look up Sprite Dragon. I know that one had a Godzilla. Alternate. Where is it? There we go. The Dorat, the perfect pet. So it had the Godzilla flavor, but it was Sprite Dragon. Had a different name, had a different art, but they say over here, no, it's Sprite Dragon. Do not forget that this is Sprite Dragon. Of all the properties to bring into MTG, Walking Dead and Fortnite. Yep, well, whatever they can afford, and whoever wants to do the crossover, they're not gonna complain. They're gonna take whatever they can get, right? They're gonna take whatever they can get. Supply Llama. Blue, it's apparently Ethereum Sculptor. Blue 1 generic. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Is that flavorful? Like, I can't tell if that's flavorful or not. Supply Llama maybe should have been like a treasure producer of some sort. The cube is a big pile of magic cards that people draft. Yeah, so I guess there can be, what's it called? People can put the cube in their cube now. Maybe that's what they wanted to do. They're going for the cube players. Dance Battle. Replacing Dance of Many. I didn't know blue had any dance cards. Blue, enchantment. When Dance Battle enters the battlefield, create a token that's a copy of target non-token creature. When Dance Battle leaves the battlefield, exile the token. When the token leaves the battlefield, sacrifice Dance Battle. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Dance Battle unless you pay blue. What the hell? Hold on. So what is this called? Dance of Many? I'd never heard of this card before. It's from the dark. It's from the dark. This feels like some sort of goofy card that they made. Like, I feel like I'm reading this card for the first time, and they literally designed this card for this Fortnite secret lair. But what catches me off guard is the whole paying at your upkeep thing. That's really old. That's old design right there, and I guess they've re-included it. Anyway, Dance of Many. I wonder, did they look up, like, every magic card that says dance? Oh, there's a lot of cards that they had to choose from. Corpse Dance, Cauldron Dance. Not sure why they went with Dance of Many, but whatever. It had a lot of words on it. It's going to excite the Fortnite players. I thought the Warhammer 40k one blended well into Magic the Gathering, to be fair. Yeah, Dance of Many is a clone. It's a clone for 2 mana. And when the clone dies, it dies. And it's gone. Battle Royale. Reprinting Triumph of the Hordes. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1, gain, trample, and infect. I don't understand the infect part. That doesn't... This should have been... I don't know. What should this have been? Maybe one of those... what's the classic? Everything gets +3/+3 and trample. Like, I don't understand the infect part. Why would any of these guys have infect? Or maybe they would. I don't know. I don't know anything about Fortnite. Are there weapons that make people sick? Battle Royale with cheese. A lot of these look like Neon Kamigawa cards. Probably the same art director. What a strange card to reprint. They're reprinting anything that even remotely resembles Fortnite in here. What's next, My Little Pony? Sorry, Dave. They've already done that one. They're already past that. I can't wait to hear your take on these damn Fortnite cards. Well, I mean, the take is I don't care. And actually, but I mean, there is some good news here. They did not reprint the, they're not mechanically unique cards. I like this one. Okay, this is my favorite one. This even has a shot in hell of me actually playing this in a tournament game. Battle Bus. 2 generic. It's Smuggler's Copter. This is Smuggler's Copter. Although the flavor isn't quite there, right? Because Smuggler's Copter steals. Battle Bus gives. Maybe, I don't know, it gives the land cards. I'm not sure. Flying. Whenever Battle Bus attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Crew 1. When will they reprint Ramona Merfolk with a Smurf theme? It could come up at any time. When Papa Smurf gives all other Smurfs +1/+1 an island walk. Triumph of the Horde is a great green EDH staple. Ah, yes, of course. Gotta kill people off with that infect. Question, what the F is a Battle Royale game? I don't know either. Maybe we can all find out together. What is Battle Royale Fortnite? For all us Fortnite noobs. Fortnite Battle Royale is a free-to-play Battle Royale video game. What does it mean? In a genre of video game like Fortnite in which 100 player characters are placed in a combat zone and eliminate each other until the final surviving player character wins. The game is also called Battle Royale. Aha! 100 players, 1 wins. What about the Shark Basic Islands? Oh, we're gonna get to it. Okay, now there's 2 secret layers here. The first one are the cards, and the second one are the lands. So we got a plains here. I guess this is just features like the different, not courses. What do you call this? Not course room. No, I've got battlefields. It's not the right word though. I'm rusty on my first-person shooters. We got the island. This is cute. I like this. And it's right near a waterfall. Actually, that's quite colorful. I give this island 9 out of 10. It's a very nice map. That's it. We don't have maps in Magic. Just expedition map. Okay, the swamp. Which is a very colorful swamp, by the way. This is a very colorful swamp for a swamp. Yeah, shark. Nicholas is very excited. Very excited over this. We got our mountain. This has to represent a map each. And our forest. The Battle Royale book is the real thing. I don't like the art of the basic lands. They don't look like basic lands. What are you talking about? Nothing looks like basic. How is this not basic lands? All a basic land is like some scenery of that land. Here's a forest. Here's some trees. I've seen, wait, have you seen the Ravnica lands? That's like not a basic land. Oh, I can't even look it up here. Ravnica basic lands. There's a lot of these lands, they're just sort of green in color, but it's actually featuring like a city or something. Ugh, come on. See, look at this on the bottom right. Is that a forest? That's not a forest. Where's the mountain? Where's the swamp? This actually sort of looks like a forest. This is not an island, it's a waterfall. This isn't a plains, it's a castle. So we've seen worse, okay? It's been a lot worse. This actually looks like a forest. This looks like a mountain. This is swampy. This is not real. I guess this is an island. I can't see. It might be a peninsula though. Unconfirmed island. Unconfirmed. And this is absolutely a plains. You see the farmland and everything. What do you think you do on the plains? You farm. You grow those crops. So Wizards of the Coast is trying to appeal to an audience of 11-year-old edgelords with homey money to a game with cards that cost as much as a house. You got to get them while they're early. Look, it's a long-term strategy, people. They're going to get them hooked onto Magic. A lot of people get hooked very young and they have no money and they will not get into this game. But eventually you do. Hey, anyone who's like 24, 22, 18 years old, you speak up, let us know. How long did you know about Magic the Gathering? But it wasn't until you finally got some money in your hands. You got a little cash to spend, you decide to spend it on Magic. The only true basic lands are from Invasion or Mirage. Some might say Alpha. My backyard is a non-basic land. Exactly. The swamp looks like a Simic land? Yeah, you could say that. But you see the swampiness here. Like, a swamp is basically like a wet forest. Really. Sometimes they depict it like really dark and gloomy and evil, but that's basically what it is. It's like every single time they show a swamp, it's basically always like a forest, but it's just like really wet on the inside. There we go. Yeah, your boy Jard. He's 22 years old, but started at 12. It wasn't until I got my first jobs. You see, they know what they're doing. By the way, you old people, you're gonna die. And then what's gonna happen? They need to get the fresh blood into this game. There's no other way. I played Driveway Magic and relied on my mom to get me cards when I was young. Stopped only ever casual Driveway. Freshman year college, I tried Commander. 27 now, I play Vintage and Legacy. Good God. You must have got a good degree in that college. Or you're proxying. Was 19 when I started. I'm 28 now. But, so I was just curious, though, how many people learned about the game like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Then they found out one card is $50, and they're like, well, I guess that's not the game for me, because my allowance is $10, and it'll take me forever to just get one card. You just buy some candy instead. When I die, the estate sale is going to be nuts. Yeah, the whole Magic card thing is going to be bizarre. Like, are they going to, like, liquidate it at a store? Which store is going to give them the best deal? I imagine it might be wise. Like, because this is a funny thing. Like, Magic cards are just being worth more and more money. Do you, in advance, divide your collection out to certain people? Do you, like, find out in advance what store you want to sell the cards to? And we're still quite a bit young. Like, we're not in the dying era yet. You know, we're maybe some of us are hitting the 60s, 65s, but there would be very, very few people, a lot smaller portion of people above that age. And the point is, like, let's say today I could say, can you buy my collection for I could go to a local game store and say, can you buy my collection for a fair price for my family? But the problem is that business going to be around the day that you die? I guess you have to keep changing stores whenever the store goes out of business. You are assuming that Magic will still be around by the time we die. I think it's very likely. I think the game is pretty eternal at this point. Even if Wizards of the Coast just, like, went out of business, somehow, for some reason, I think a lot of people would be playing Magic for a very long time going into the future. Dave says, I'm 26, I'd rather buy sweets than a Ragavan. My kids are lucky. They just raided my basement. I stepped on a Necropotence last week. Good God. You gotta keep those cards locked up. My grandpa gave his deck, and I beat a rich kid who had 3 dragons out with my grandpa's deck the first time with it ever. That is sweet. See, the grandpas have the Magic cards. Like, how old can someone be? Let's say someone was 20 years old in 1993... and they got into the game. But let's be ambitious. Let's say they're 30 years old in 1993. That would make them... yeah, that would make them about 60 years old. Mikey J, it reminds everyone, don't sell your cards unless you need the money. Have a plan for that money or scheduled to die soon. Hey, here's a question to Mikey J. Let's say you're gonna die soon. Do you sell the cards before you die, or do you just die and let everyone else figure it out after you're dead? Personally, for me, I'm going to the grave with my cards. Like, I don't want to sell them even before I'm dead. I might think about it differently, but I'm going to the grave with the cards, and then, you know, my family can figure it out from there. My brother will have some idea. If my brother's still alive, he'll have some idea what the cards are worth. He doesn't know exactly what they're worth, but yeah, he knows, like, oh, that card's an expensive card. Oh, that card is actually whatever. He knows how to look up the prices, though. He does know. I gave him a huge box of my bulk. He's like, can I look for the good cards? And I said, he wanted to look through my bulk to help me find, like, money cards. And I said, if you can find any money cards, you can just keep the cards. So it was funny. He scoured all my bulk. He found, I think, like $60 worth of cards. And he went to Fusion with it. And then explained to Fusion that he wasn't stealing my cards. I gave him permission to do it. Erwin says, I joke around with my family if I die to sell my collection and that should cover my funeral costs. It probably would. If I would have a fatal disease, I'm going to the grave with the cards. Is anyone going to get buried with their cards? You sell before you die. Your kids might just look at them and throw them in the trash. I imagine there might be some rules around taxing the collection that might encourage someone to try to sell it before you're dead, get the money, and then give it away. I was introduced via the University to Magic. For $100, you could build a modern deck, which can win like 50%. A lot of people with like actual decks don't know how to play. It is actually true. There's a lot of people with tier 1 decks, they don't know how to play, and they can still lose to the budget decks easily. You know a game is serious when it requires funeral arrangements. And like, we're still a little young for this, but like eventually this is gonna happen. Some of us are gonna start dying off. I hear about it every so often now, like, someone's garage, someone died and they had a garage full of like alpha and beta cards, and this is like the only way we're gonna get like the old school cards back into circulation, is like when random people die and then these random collections from their childhood that they totally forgot about Magic the Gathering. They stored it in their basement, they stored it in their garage. It was something they did as a kid, but they've never gone back, and they now don't know the value of these cards anymore, but they kept it. They're found in these estate sales or from the family. And then they find out, oh my god, big money here. Do you sell your house before your cards? Ideally, you sell your house. Well, if you know you're gonna die, it would be ideal that you sell your house. I know in Canada they'll tax your estate if you sell your house. Sorry, if you don't sell your house. If you don't sell your house and you die, they will tax the house as it goes to your estate. But if you just sell your house while you're alive, you get all the money. But you need somewhere to live. That's the problem with that plan. You need somewhere to live before you die. Die with cards in your hand gets real. Yeah, dying with cards in your hand gets real. When I'm on my deathbed, I'm holding the perfect 7-card hand. We can say like, what's the perfect 7-card hand you want to die with? I want to have Cavern of Souls. I want Aether Vial. I want Silver Gill Adept. I want Mutavault. I want an Island, Spreading Seas, Svelun, and Master of the Pearl Trident. Maybe there should be a Force Negation in there, I don't know. Mikey J, in my jurisdiction, you're better off dying first so your family can make a claim for a step-up basis for tax purposes when they cash out. That's right. Not legal advice. Also, check in with your province and state for what the tax laws are, because they will be different for everybody. Leave your family a single card. Your very special Black Lotus, maybe? Maybe. I mean, another way you could do it is you just give the cards to your family in advance. You know, like, you still own them, but you gave it to them. And if you want to see them, you go to them, you go see your cards. But, like, they have the cards in advance. Because I imagine it might be a real hassle dividing it up. Like, okay, divide my Magic collection amongst my 5, 6, 7, 10 family members. But, like, some cards are worth so much more than others. So who's going to get what? So maybe it's best you just give it out while it's fair, while it's early, and then whatever it appreciates or depreciates, that's what happens. I want my coffin to be made out of Magic cards. That's a pretty extreme. But then that's the problem. You want it full of cheap commons. People do that with their floors. They just lay out a bunch of cheap commons on their floor and make a floor out of it. LOL, wife gonna find out how much you spend on Magic only after you're dead. That's true. You'll find out how much you spend after you're dead. He's been spending how much money? And that's the thing, they'll think you spent that much money. They won't think that it appreciated to that much. But truth be told, you probably did spend a lot of money on Magic, and they had no idea. I still know people. They're hiding their Magic cards from their wives. That's got to be a video someday. How do you hide your Magic? How do you hide your Magic card worth from your spouse? I'm leaving my cards to my 2 Magic teammates. One friend is getting Merfolk and Food Chain. The other is getting Storm and Lands. It's nice. Team sticks together. My fear is when I die, my wife sells my cards for what I told her I paid for them. Ho ho ho! That will be nasty. You gotta tell her that they appreciate it in value. They're like Bitcoin. And you're just very smart. You got in early. Show her some graphs. MTGstocks.com. You see, it can go from like 50 cents to $100. Bury me with Goblin, Lackey, and Lightning Bolt, please. There's probably gonna be some people who are gonna have that. They're like, please bury me with my cards. Kazuki Takahashi died, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that like recent? The creator... Kazuki Takahashi. Found dead. He looks very young. Dies at 60. Okay, the guy just looks young. Takahashi Kazuki, the creator of the manga... Oh, he's the creator of the manga comic series, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was found dead in the waters of the coast of Okinawa Island, Japan. Oh, God! Wait, he was he assassinated or something? Kazuki's body was discovered about 1,000 feet offshore at about 10:30 a.m. local time. An official with the 11th Regional Coast Guard headquarters in Okinawa told NBC News. Local police had also discovered an abandoned rental car at a nearby beach. Uh-oh. Looks like he did himself in. Once they determined Kazuki had rented the vehicle, they contacted his family to confirm that the body was him. He was identified Thursday. Kazuki was wearing a snorkeling equipment. Oh, he was wearing snorkeling equipment when he was found. According to the Coast Guard, he was traveling alone. So maybe it was an accident. I don't know. The Coastal Guard also said there were damages to his body which looked like they were caused by some sort of marine animal. Ah. The guy like swimming by himself in the middle of nowhere. And then gets eaten up by a dolphin or something. The Yu-Gi-Oh card back in the show is the Magic card back in real life. You can see where he got the inspiration. Oh, of course. R.I.P. Yu-Gi-Oh founder. To this day, I can mention the Blue Eyes White Dragon or Dark Magician, and someone who hasn't thought about it in years will immediately flow with excitement. Takahashi truly created something incredible, and his ideas will live on forever. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh, the greatest ripoff of Magic the Gathering, but truly a unique experience. R.I.P. to the guy. So now where is his Yu-Gi-Oh cards gonna go? What's the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card? What is the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card? Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh card came out before the card game. Just like how Sailor Moon... there's a lot of animes that start as a manga. The manga has to be made first, then they make the anime. Let's get our gravestones with the text, "Here lies your name, may he rest in peace." Are we gonna have our usernames on the grave these days? At what point do we start putting usernames on the grave? Maybe we've already reached that point. I can't see my gravestone without Nikachu on it at this point. Is Blue Eyes White Dragon still the most expensive? Let's go to a very unreliable source for prices, ebay.com. Blue Eyes White Dragon. What am I supposed to look like? OG? Okay, let's look up a PSA 10. Well, I can go for a pretty penny. I'm assuming this is the OG one. The Blue Eyes White Dragon. With that, what looks like an insane casting cost. A casting cost like Charizard. It was the Dredge 4 I wanted to be highlighted, not the name. My daughter's learning the game. She is looking forward to inheriting my snappies. The Snapcaster mages may not even be good by the time you're dead. It's already falling out of favor. Here lies Snarf of the Dizzled. Exactly. eBay has the best deals. They do have those deals, right? They do have, like, it looks like they have a save $58 for 24 months with PayPal credit. No, I'm not doing that. Thank you very much. Save 17%. They've got deals. First edition Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is not crazy expensive. This Takahashi guy is not going to leave a very expensive fortune. Oh, this is expensive. Look at $3,000. 22 bids? That ain't nothing. What is this? Blue Eyes B Dragon? What does the B stand for? Bitch? The Blue Eyes Bitch Dragon. In Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 and 6 stars requires 1 sacrifice, and 7+ requires 2 sacrifices, so Blue Eyes really isn't too expensive to play. It means nothing to me, to be honest. Here lies Jonathan Zacek. What the fuck is that? Who is that guy? This is the Black Dragon? Well, why couldn't they just write in the text? They don't have enough space there? Red Eyes, Bitch Dragon. Bitchin'. I want to go back to the conversation we had about the estate. Alphas and betas aren't even close to those sets I mentioned. Where are we going here? You guys comment a lot more than I can read. Okay, I'm getting back to the where I want to be. You sell before you die. Your kids might just look at them and throw them in the trash. Well, you're not supposed to, not giving it to toddlers. Ideally, like, by the time you're old, your kids are like 30 years old too. They'll have some brains to hold on to it. I know if I'm about to die, I'll sell my cards unless they just got reprinted. And hopefully you get a good deal, because if you get a bad deal, you might just die on the spot. I guess you can put in your will to go to a store to sell the collection. Yeah. But I think it might even be better if you just make an arrangement with the store owner in advance. Like, hey, can you give like a slightly better than usual deal and I will sell you the entire collection? Because maybe if a random family member gets it sold, you know, that story may not... Well, they might ask, like, hey, I've never seen you before. Where did this whole collection come from? Well, this person died. It's his collection. Not sure if a store would be willing to do that. Give a good deal on a dying person's collection. When I'm old, I'm going to have my cards built into a coffin. Oh, yes. Can you own property in Canada? Absolutely. How socialized do you think we are? Yeah, we can own property. Spencer Ward, I bombed out of the stock market in 2018, lost 70%, so I moved to MTG. How did it do so bad? Like, the stock market wasn't doing that bad in 2018. I'm selling my collection in 2035 to pay for both of my kids' first 4 years of college. I'm at nearly 60K. Holy crap. See, the Magic the Gathering is a better stock market than the stock market. For some people. Hey, you invest in what you know. You invest in what you know. I'm just curious, what the hell did you invest in 2018? To be honest, when you die, you won't care what happens anyway, so why worry about it? I hope the auditors find the irony in taxing a land tax card. That's right. Imagine you have a bunch of land taxes. Aren't collectibles super hard to evaluate for tax insurance purposes? It might be easy to pass along. Today, that's true, but like I'm pretty certain one day this stuff is gonna get taxed one way or another, especially a collectible like Magic the Gathering, where you can pretty easily determine. I mean, it might be hard to determine the capital gains. It might be impossible, but it will be easy to determine the value because there will be a lot of different people who can evaluate the value, like local game stores, but also there's a lot of ways to determine the value online, either through eBay, mtgstocks.com, TCG Player, and I imagine there's going to be more and more of these entities in the future that can determine the value of your collection. Stores don't give a shit about your story as to why you are selling your cards. They just smile and lowball you. Assuming nothing has been recently stolen, you could be right. Oh, there's a bunch of expensive cards. Let's go. Oh, Jack Torborg just is excited. Just bought his your creativity deck. Is anyone else here headed to the NRG Chicago? Just bought my first non-budget modern deck ever, and I'm so pumped for it. Your first? Oh, your first non-budget. I get it. But you've been playing online the entire time. I will not be at NRG Chicago. You know where I'm going to be? I'm going to be at Fusion 5K. Where's the Fusion 5K? July 9th. If you're going there, I'll see you there. So I have my own event this weekend, the Fusion 5K. It's been a while since I played some Paper Magic. I think last time I played was in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, Nevada. So anyway, this is the Fusion 5K. What else is happening this weekend? There's also a Star City Games event. But anyway, I'm going to the Fusion 5K, hosted by FusionGamingOnline.com. Also, today's sponsor, Deal of the Week. Save 15% off select Magic sealed product. It's only going to be available. This deal is only available for people in Canada because it's a Canadian local game store. You can send singles internationally, but they can't sell you the sealed product. Doesn't work like that. But if you are a Canadian and you're going to buy that sealed product, also use coupon code Nikachu for an additional 5% off. But if you're not Canadian, you can also use this deal for anything else at FusionGamingOnline.com. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. And your one-stop shop for, you know, renting any deck. I mean, this is what Torborg was using before he bought his creativity deck. I'm certain of it. Or maybe he bought the deck, I don't know. Basically, this is the way you playtest all sorts of weird variations of modern Pioneer standard decks without having to commit to the cards. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off using coupon code Nikachu_WBN. WBN. Yeah, long-time Magic the Gathering online vet, but in paper, I'm very much been the dude that shows up with a budget 8 whack and my bad Enduring Ideal deck. Someone has to show up with that Enduring Ideal deck. I'll be playing blue-white. I am 100% committed to this list. Probably going to be adding the Blast Zones to the deck. Casper Soul. I bought my home 2 years ago for $315,000. I'm in the process of listing it for sale right now for $550,000. So where you gonna go, Casper? Where you gonna go? You gonna buy a shack? See, that's the problem with selling your house, right? We all have to live somewhere. You can live in your parents' place if you want. That's the problem with selling your house for a profit. Jack Torborg, here we got a testimonial. Cracked Mana Traders is incredible, and I used it for about a year and a half before I fell in love with the deck enough to pull the trigger on paper one. I would not have known what to buy if I didn't. Are you keeping Cavern of Souls? Of course, I have one Cavern of Souls in the deck. There's also a lot of control players in my area. I don't know. I have no idea what this metagame is going to be. I have not a clue. I used to know exactly what my metagame was going to be. There's going to be Control. There's going to be Tron. There was going to be... you know what? Those basically the two matchups I could most definitely expect. And now, I have no idea. It could be anything. Could be a bunch of Murktide decks for all I know. You should go Yorion with main deck to Fairies and Solitudes. And maybe main deck more Yorions. Face-to-face 5K in Toronto. Is that happening this weekend as well? Any live coverage at Fusion 5K? There will not be live coverage. I might vlog something, though. Might be close. You might find me pop up and make a live. I don't know. Could be a Murktide and Hammer meta. What's the worst matchup for you? Probably, maybe Death Shadow still? I think my worst matchups are like Death Shadow and Hammer Time, and I don't care about anything else. Yeah, I think I can survive everything else. I really don't care. Even the Omnath decks, bring them on. Bring on the Omnath decks. Don't care about them. There's so many Storm players at your local game store. It's hilarious what our local meta looks like. Yeah, local metas are not the same as the real metas. And I usually adjust my deck for my local meta, but I can't do it this time because I've got not a damn clue what my local meta is. I am not afraid of Yawgmoth at all. As far as I'm concerned, Yawgmoth is a good matchup. I've not lost to Yawgmoth hardly ever with Merfolk, like on stream or anything. I really don't, am I just getting ridiculously lucky? I don't even think it's like that bad of a matchup on paper, because the whole matchup depends on them getting Yawgmoth out. So in matchups like Yawgmoth, whereas there's this one singular card that destroys you, but the rest of the deck does effectively nothing, you just have to make sure you're playing around that one card the entire time. Which, at least for a Merfolk deck, you know, you just counterspell. Counterspell the Eldritch Evolution. Counterspell the Chord of Calling, when it can put a 4-drop creature in play. Counterspell the Yawgmoth. Keep the creatures on the board, so Chord of Calling and Eldritch Evolution is useless. So, is Double Masters releasing the week? I think it is, and I think they're gonna have Double Masters. I think they'll have Double Masters drafts. Zero Wiz, been watching your unbanned tier list videos. Do you think Uro banned in Modern is too much? No, actually. Uro was one of those cards. Let's get Uro on screen. So here's the deal. Uro is one of those cards that it was very, very good, but not too good from the like immediately to get banned. Like it wasn't Hogak powerful, but it's so good. It's like on the edge of getting banned, and then that's enough for it to get banned. Like it was just hard to just, it should be snap banned. And look at it, it has its reputation now has been banned everywhere. Can't remember if it's close to getting banned in Legacy, but I think they banned Arkham's Astrolabe, and that was good enough. Banned in Historic Explorer. It's just a really good value card. It's insanely good. Like, you can't kill the damn thing. And it's really big. Like, 4 mana, 6/6 creature that draws cards and gains life. You just get rid of one of these modes, it's probably fair, but they had too many. What does it do? It enters the battlefield or attacks. It gains life. Oh yeah, and then you put the land onto the battlefield. It's a stupid card. So they let us play around with this for like a year, and it was very good. It just overpowered the format. The best decks were all Uro decks. Uro was an auto-include in any blue-green... No, correction. Uro was an auto-include in any blue deck and any green deck. So if you ran blue or green, you played this card. I even made a Merfolk version with this deck. Or sorry, a Merfolk deck with Uro. And it was pretty good. I bet I could have innovated on it. Yeah, dies to Unholy Heat. Truth be told, it could get exiled now with Prismatic Ending and Solitude. It would be different now, wouldn't it? So it's like it's not a very expensive card. So you could exile it with Prismatic Ending and you can Solitude it, so there would be some answers today. Yawgmoth decks are extremely skill intensive. It's a toolbox deck. Very few players can maximize the decision trees in the deck. It's a deck I play in paper, and I punt more often than I like to admit. We all punt. I mean, that also might contribute to my wins again in the Yawgmoth matchup. Should we try to unban Uro and see what happens? No! No, we don't need to do that. Like, there's already an amazing shell for this. And that's the 4-color Blink deck. We absolutely do not need to add Uro to this. What would they get rid of? Probably the Endurance, Salt, Eternal Witness, and a Fury or something. Or I don't know what they get rid of. They get rid of something. They don't need all this card. Maybe they don't need Expressive Iteration. Uro is the Expressive Iteration. Oh yeah, you could play for Uro and Temur Rhinos. You could. It's a 3-mana card, so it won't get hit by Cascade. And they might even do the same thing in Living End. Why not? KBG, can you cover cards to unban now that Modern Horizons 2 has increased the power level to an absence level? I mean, I think just the artifact lands. I think, or the artifact, like, I think the only cards I would want to see unbanned is like the clear, I think the clear artifact lands and probably Umzao's GT are the only ones I can clearly see unbanned. Everything else is getting really stupid. Everything else is getting ridiculously dumb on this list. The ban list used to be a joke, but now there's like a lot of everything is legitimately should be here. Yeah, basically, I think those are the only two I think would be safe. All right. You know that time. You heard the music. It's time for deck list review. In the description, there's a link to my Discord. Join my Discord. Find the channel deck list review. Enter the command !review deck space. Give the URL to your deck list, and you'll be eligible at random for deck list review. Or if you have money, you can pay $15 to paypal.me/Nikachu MTG, and you will skip the line, and you'll definitely get chosen for deck list review. And if you spend $35, I will play one match with your deck as well. And we do have a paywall deck list review today. We do. We've got who do we got? We got Julian Cardona. And running, whoops, I have, is this it? Is this the right? Oh, I gotta get rid of this thing. We've got a cats deck. And Julian's got a message. Hello, here's another deck I'm attempting to make better. This one's for my friend who loves cats and magic. I'm trying to see what a competitive version of this would look like by today's standards. I structured it like your Merfolk deck. Yeah, replacing, you know, 4 Brimaz with Sveloon, 3 King of the Pride with Glasspool. That's not a replacement. Glasspool is like a land, primarily. You get the idea. It's structured exactly like yours. I want to see what you think, how you would make it better. A notable card I suggest you look at would be Pride Sovereign. I'd like to see what you think about the card deck, blah, 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 blah. I'm excited to see what you or chat would suggest. Okay, so I have some bad news for you, because I actually looked at all the cards, like, last night for cats, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Actually, why am I doing this here? So the cats are just brutal. Cats in general, they don't have, very few of them have ETBs, which is not good. It means there's no value. A lot of these are just really expensive to give it flash. Some of the better ones are actually the artifact ones, like Arcbound Mauser is good. It has lifelink, it's a 1/1, and when it dies you can put on an artifact creature, but unfortunately, when it dies you may put its +1/+1 counter on target artifact creature, but it can't be put on any creature. So there was, okay, so this was the deck by, hold on, so what was the deck by default? Do I have the deck by default? Where's the OG deck? Because I just put up the most recent deck list. Hold on. Give me a second here. I actually don't have the Here we go. Boop. Okay, kitty cat. The kitty cat deck. Okay, so this is the OG list. Cats was playable in standard. It's an alright casual pioneer deck. I rarely see the rack playing Liliana's Caress. Is that card? Oh no, sorry. Time for deck list review. Cats were printed too late in MTG's timeline to have bomb-ass cards like Merfolk. It's not too hard to catch up. There aren't that many Merfolk out there. So the OG deck was Kahira, Loam Lion, Fleecemane Lion. I'm looking at this card. This is really dated. Another problem with the cats is that it usually costs mana to get some ability out of it. It's like 5 mana, that's not happening. Especially the fact that you have 19 lands in this deck. Like, that is just not happening. Sully Pride Mage. Not too bad. Now, still requires mana to sacrifice it, but at least this is a pretty damn good card. It gives your creatures exalted, so maybe this Loam Lion will attack for 3 damage into something, I don't know. And also you can sack to destroy an artifact or enchantment, which is relevant. You know, we could blow up Urza Saga, for example. You improve my cat deck. You improved my cat deck a year ago on Decklist Review, and I guess we can do the same thing today. Brimaz is, like, not exciting, because if it entered the battlefield and got a cat, that'd be very exciting. But the fact that you have to attack or block with it in order to get the value is not that great. It is okay, though. It's a 3/4 creature, so it won't die to Lightning Bolt, but it'll die to everything else. King of the Pride, pretty good card, actually. Great lord. Very, very good lord. That's a lot of damage. +2/+1. Godzilla Ambusher is probably the only great card from cats, because you can tap out and completely surprise your opponent. They might do something like play Ragavan with dash, assuming they can just, you know, the board is clear, they can easily attack, when really, surprise! So Ambusher. Cub Warden. This, I don't know if this card's gonna be good or bad. It's got lifelink for 4 mana. It's a 3/5 creature, and when this creature mutates, create 2 1/1 white creature tokens with lifelink. So it's not too expensive, but it's hard to cast. You need 4 mana to hit the mutate cost for it. Can't Ether Vial that in play. Okay, so let's look at some of the changes I have made. I have made some changes. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna have this Loam Lion. So, like, by default, the deck, it was just like vanilla creatures for the most part. A real good test to a deck is like how much value you get if you play the creature and then it dies. Did you get any value? Did you affect the board in any way? Like, most of the cards are not very interactive, so I might want to replace Loam Lion. I might not. I might keep this one in here. Because, you know, like, I don't know, a 2/3 creature is not too bad. But an alternative, there was a... Oh, maybe we should have a Seeka's Chariot. That's the way better Cub Warden. Oh, I didn't even think about that, because a Seeka's Chariot is an artifact. Oh, that is such a good... That's such a good one. Seeka's. Hell, that's banned card, practically. That's premium. That's so good. When a Seeka's Chariot enters the battlefield, create 2/2 green cat creature tokens. That's really a master of waves. And whenever it attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Crew 4. Great idea. Would Coco be worth it? No. Especially with a Seeka's Chariot in this deck. I mean, maybe it is worth it. Okay, so some things that I did. I replaced the Fleece main line with Bronze Hide line because its activated ability is just way cheaper. You can make it indestructible for 2 mana, so it can actually at least protect itself. And also when it dies, you can give that... So it gets some value when it dies. You can give this value to some other creature on the battlefield. I added Felidar Cub, because you can sacrifice it, destroy target enchantment. So at the very least, if your opponent has like Urza Saga out, you can play Felidar Cub and, you know, just act it like a Stone Rain. And there are quite a few Urza Sagas out there. What else can it destroy? What other enchantment? There's probably some other things, like you can exchange it with an Eidolon of the Great Revel. You can, like, there's a good chunk of enchantments in the game that I think is worth adding the Felidar Cub. And we have, I'll keep the Sully Pride Mage. Not a fan of spending mana, but, and same thing here, but we're going to do what we got to do. King of the Pride is just the best lord, so we're going to max out on 4 of them. I have 4 Endurance. It's an elemental that still lets us use the Kahira Cat Beast Companion, and I think this is just really good main deck interaction. It doesn't have synergy with the rest of your deck, but it doesn't need to. It's just too good it's just too good by itself. The problem with Feline Sovereign is we're clogged on 3-drops. Like, we have a lot of 3-drops. This is pretty heavy 3-drop deck, and I don't think... I just can't fit the damn thing in there. And by the time you get Feline Sovereign in and you attack, the Urza Saga might already be going off. And maybe it's worth having it in the sideboard. Well, what exactly does Feline Sovereign? I know it's a very good card for 3 mana. What exactly does it do? Cats and dog. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. Not that there's a lot of dogs in this game. Whenever one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Not a bad card at all. Not a bad card, but I'm going to not play it. Xali Ambusher. We'll play this because it could be played for free. And I actually think it's a pretty good card versus Ragavan and maybe even Dragon Rage Chandler. Okay, Brave the Elements. Why do we have this card? Why? Is it some way of pushing damage? And that would be a concern to me. Like, how do we push damage with this deck? I don't know how to push damage with this deck at all. Like, for example, if our opponent, like, roadblocks us with a bunch of creatures, we ain't getting through. We don't have any means of getting through. Does, what does the Seeker's Chariot do? It doesn't have unblockable. Nothing's unblockable here. Nothing flies. We have no evasion. We have very poor amounts of removal. What if we use one Wild Nikachu and play one Cabaretti Triome? I think Wild Nikachu sucks. I think Wild Nikachu, 1 mana 3/3, not that great. It is a very bad threat. It is very bad. It's just terrible. I think Collected Company is worth playing in this deck though. We need more mana though. I don't know, do I Path to Exile my own creatures sometimes? Maybe do we play 3? I want another land, that's for sure. Here, we'll put another Boseiju in here. I'm not sure about... You know what? There's another cat that's like a 1/1. When it dies, it's... what's it called? Oh, it's called Garrison Cat. And the thing about Garrison Cat... So Garrison Cat is this 1 white. When Garrison Cat dies, create a 1/1 white human creature token. So humans have nothing to do with this deck. But the thing with the Garrison Cat is very good versus Ragavan, because if they kill it, they still can't attack unless they use another removal spell on your 1/1 human soldier creature token. At least you get some value if it dies. Yeah, Leonin Arbiter is also a possibility, but it's still a pretty weak card. It does combo very well though with Path to Exile. I'm actually fearful that Leonin Arbiter is just too easy to play around today, or just too easy to kill. Nikachu just hands over Merfolk deck and says, please pretend they are cats. Yeah. They're all catfish. Here, we'll just change everything to a Merfolk deck. You can have some... Wait, the Planeswalker? Maybe we should have some Planeswalkers on this. What a Johnny are we looking for? Put a counter on up to 1 target creature. Target creature gains flying and double struck until end of turn. That might be useful. Is there anything good to help close out the game? Put a counter on... Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Return target creature card with confirmed mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That could not be too bad. You get an emblem at the beginning of your end step, create 3 whatever tokens. Return target creature card with confirmed mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is not too bad. Oops, you guys can't see this very well. Isn't Wild Nikachu greater than Loam Line? Not if I have to add a red source. If we had more ETBs, like a Seeker's Chariot, we could crew... Well, actually, there is a really good cat in this game, but I just don't know how to make a deck around it. Felidar Guardian. The problem is we don't have many ETBs in this deck, period. Like, Endurance is an ETB, I guess. The Seeker's Chariot is an ETB, but we can't find Felidar Guardian off of Collected Company. There are not many ETBs for cats. Except this one. This is like the best ETB cat of all time. I wouldn't even be against like jamming Felidar Guardian and trying to throw the combo in there, like at splashing. Oh, we can't even splash Saheeli because that's splashing 2 more colors. It's too many colors. But if there was a combo, we could use it. I think in a 2-color deck, Loam Line is better than Wild Nikachu. I think also the fact that we're playing with Cavernous Souls makes it more complicated. A Johnny, Caller of the Pride, and Doubling Season will definitely push damage. Okay, what other Ajani's do we have? Do we have other Ajani's that are reasonable? Strength of the Pride. There's a lot of Ajani's out there. Create a 2/2 cat. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. The Ajani's are damn expensive. Is Endurance too good to be replaced by Lion Sash? It is way too good. Endurance is almost mandatory right now. 3 mana, 3/4 creature that exiles my basically chucks my opponent's graveyard. Yes, please. Ephemerate could be a good mana tithe here as well, but we need to find more cheap cats that add good. Yeah, there's like there are no ETBs. There's like almost nothing. Guardian can blink lands for Felidar Retreat. Oh, hold on. What's Felidar Retreat? Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. That is a good card. But it's not good enough for Modern, in my opinion, because turn 4 does nothing. What are the white creature lands? Sorry, like the creature lands, the double-sided lands that are like green and white. Blue-black cat for ETB. I don't know which one that is. Ajani Strength of the Pride. Okay, hold on, wait. Call the Pride. Mentor. Strength of the Pride. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control plus the number of planeswalkers you control. -2. Create a white 2/2 white cat creature token named Ajani's Pride Mate with whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Ajani's Primate. 0. If you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, exile Ajani's Strength of the Pride and each artifact and creature opponents control. That's interesting, because that actually can help us break through some of those games that I said, like if we're like locked out. Johnny's Strength of the Pride. Is that worth it more than Collected Company? Maybe we have got such a. Hold on, how many creatures are in here? I have too many creatures. Like I'm gonna. I don't believe in Garrison Cat that much because we don't have that many lords. I mean, unless we have Collected Company, maybe that acts like a pseudo lord. But I hate everything dying and then we get no value. I'm gonna try to put my trust in the Loam Lion. I think we have 12 cards on the sideboard, so actually our main deck is a little too expensive. How many cards are in the main deck? We're missing 3 cards on the sideboard, so our main deck is a little bit too much. Actually, I'm gonna cut down on a Path to Exile. I mean, land on one side, creature on the other. I actually don't think Sacred Cat is better. Sacred Cat costs mana. By the way, this looks like Chubby Meatball. Yeah, Embalm. So I have to pay more mana to get this thing back. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a white zombie cat with no mana cost. Embalm only as a sorcery. So I think this card's worse. Well, maybe there's some advantage in that it has lifelink, but anything that costs us mana to play is going to make the deck inevitably worse. I think that's about it. We should play Force Solitude. No Kihira? No, we have Kihira. We have Kihira. Kihira's in here. Oh, we could have more Kihiras, though. Vigilance. Each other creature you control that's a cat, elemental, nightmare, or dinosaur, or beast gets +1/+1 as vigilance. We could have another one. I didn't think about that. How many 2-drops do we have? Do we have enough 1-drops and 2-drops? This is a 1-drop. This is a 2-drop. This is a 2-drop. Xali Ambusher is like a 2-drop, sort of. Let's get rid of 1 Bronzehide. Let's put another Kihira in the main deck. Because there's nothing wrong with that. What's the pathway to victory with this deck exactly? Just attacking? Yep, basically. We're gonna attack on the ground. We're gonna attack with our creatures. That's how we're gonna win. Okay, sideboard. Oh yeah, I took out the endurances and put them in the main deck. Deafening Silence. I actually don't think this is relevant in the metagame right now. Like, that's a combo card for combos that don't really exist. Or do they? Hold on, Deafening Silence. Is this good versus Cascade? Each player can cast more than one non-creature spell each turn. This is good versus Cascade. Okay, we can have that. Remove 2 paths, add 2 solitudes. Can we blink that? I don't actually think it has any synergy here. But sure, we'll put a solitude in here. More creatures. Feline Sovereign in the sideboard. I think we have enough destruction for artifacts and enchantments. We have Kasali Pride Mage and Felidar Cub. So I'm not really looking for more. It's not good versus Cascade if I cast Shardless Agent. Okay, true story. Actually, thank you very much for that. 4 Veil of Summer is great. We could have 2 Damping Sphere in here. 2 Rest in Peace is great. 2 Choke is great. We'll put 2 Chalice of the Void. Is there something else we should have in this deck? Is there a sleep style effect in white or green that could set up a kill shot turn? I'm not sure. Engineered Explosives? It wouldn't be terrible, but I don't know if it would be great either. Torpor Orb for Cascade. Does that do anything? I think that does nothing. It might even help them. You know, now that we added Solitude, I feel like I want to put, like, what's it called in the deck? I actually think we should put one more land. We now have a Seeker's Chariot and Collected Company in here. Okay, I will probably change this deck up at least one more time, because I do think we're going to need to just fix the mana a little bit. It needs more mana for Collected Company and Seeker's Chariot. Torpor Orb for Elementals, but they can still play their Elementals for like almost nothing. The problem with Torpor Orb is like all of a sudden they can just put creatures in play for free. It won't have any ETB, but it won't die. So it's not what you think it is. Where the Fang says, I don't like Felidar Cub. I want something else in that slot. I don't. I like Felidar Cub. I like it a lot. 4x Utopia Sprawl would be good. Ramp and fixing early. Oh, so instead of Ether Vial, we play Utopia Sprawl. Do I need to put enough forests in this deck? We have 1, 5, 9, 10. I might have to adjust the deck for more forests. Kahira, Endurance, the Ambusher. I like this idea, actually. It's like the Sprawl Merfolk thing. Because we do have Solitude. I might want to cast that and we can ramp into Collected Company. This is a very good idea. That is a very, very, very good idea. So maybe cut down on a Cavern of Souls, Boseiju. Add some wooded foothills. So 3, 7, 11, 12. What the hell? What's going on here? Do I have to cut? How many of these things do I have to cut? 4, 12, 13. There we go. Problem solved. I don't know if I have enough white sources now, but I'm gonna pray that I do. A new secret lair came out. You can see the replay. 9 lives and solemnity, just in case you can cast fast enough. Cut 1 temple garden for a fetch? No, absolutely. I have more things to fetch than I have things fetchable. I have like 7 fetch. I have 7 things that I can fetch and 8 things that I can are fetching. I'm gonna run out of cards. What's the lowest number of creatures I would run with Coco? Probably 26, and that's really iffy. That's cutting it close. Is this legendary? It is legendary. Okay, we'll have 4 collected company, 3 Asika's Chariot. Okay, that's sort of shaping up. Okay, but we need 2 more cards for the Coco. Sorry, I mean for the sideboard. 4 Veil, 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Rest. Maybe, okay, maybe we'll put Feline Sovereign, because I don't know. When we run against Affinity, we'll bring this in. Oh no, this is not this is the wrong one. What is it called? Feline Sovereign? Yeah, this one. It's a Lord, pro dogs. Whenever one or more cats you can control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Would Rule of Law work? I mean, sort of, sure. But what do we need it for? There's no combo decks out there. Or, I mean, oh, you're talking about, like, maybe versus the Cascade decks? You know what? It probably doesn't work because it's 3 mana, right? I think it's 3 mana. And when you're on the draw, it's useless. Oh, but we do have Utopia Sprawl. But I don't think it's that important. Anyway, I don't think it's that important. All right, I think we actually made a pretty good deck here. I think the deck is not too bad. We cleaned it up. All right, that's all the time I have today, though. We spent too much time on the paywall deck list review. As usual, thank you so much for joining me. We do this Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. You can send me stuff at my P.O. Box. Thanks for the super chats and all the members who are becoming part of the coffee crew. But most importantly, thank you very much for joining me every single day. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.